So this will be the first, hopefully not the last, small video update and video blog of the development of the iStableMaster or iStableMaster add-on that Briss and Escalate are developing for World of Warcraft. Now, so the story about this add-on comes fairly shortly into about a year and a half ago, when, oh, not quite, around December 2020, when Briss asked me, hey, you're the one who's doing your own add-ons for World of Warcraft, right, in the guild? And he's like, and I answered, yes, I am. I'm quite busy right now. I've been doing some different add-ons at the time, but I was doing some different exams and other things for the university at the time, so I was quite busy, quite busy. Now, I said, can you get back to me, or can I get back to you in about 3 months, or 2 or 3 months, back in February, when I have hopefully passed all my exams? Bruce was like, yeah, sure, we can do that. And one more thing I said, I can't develop the add-on for you, I can develop it with you. The answer to that is, well, the reason for that is that I don't play Hunter. I actually rarely play World of Warcraft. I have the game, and I spend most of my time doing add-ons that I find that quite enjoying, and I don't actually have that much time to spend on video games everyday life. Life sort of hits you when you enter the age where you have to pay your own bills at the same time as go to school and stuff like that. So, right now, status is that the development is very slow, and I don't have a lot of time because I'm doing my thesis at the moment. So we'll see what happens when we come on the other side of summer. But right now, only small bits of development are happening. Everything you see here is standard Blizzard UI, with the exception of my own add-on, which is called Suriko UI, something like that, which is basically not part of the iStableMaster add-on, so don't get confused when you see something like it's not like this. It's the XP ring, it's this way of handling action bars and this kind of stuff. So that's nothing to do with it. Now, you will see things that happens in the general chat that comes out in data dumps, and most of this is like here is debug purposes only. It will say iStableMaster or just be white numbers or something. If it says iStableMaster, it's because it's something that's intended for you as a tester or early adopter of the add-on to be able to troubleshoot things easily, or if there is some knowledge that you should know of. When you load in the add-on, it should give you an add-on version number, etc., in the message. I'm not sure if that comes across or works, because when I deploy things, I don't get the same substitutions as the package manager should handle on CurseForge. Okay, so that was an introduction out of the way. Almost. I just gotta say who I am. I'm Escalapius, or Peter, and I am 27 years old. I have studied mediology. I've got a bachelor's degree in mediology from Aalborg University in Denmark, and I'm currently doing my master's thesis in mediology as well. It's just my thesis that I'm missing, and I will have my master's degree by summer, hopefully. And that is specifically within the field of video games. So I've been at bedtime games for internships and other things. They do smaller games. If you don't know who they are, shout out to those guys. They do amazing games, and an incredible company great work atmosphere. So good, so good, so good. It's local here in Aalborg where I live. And I've spent maybe 10, 11, maybe 12 years actively working with 3D or game engines and making video games in total. And I've actually made video games ever since I was a little kid. Albeit they were not as good or successful as some of my later creations. Which also means that I am extremely messy with some of the stuff I do. And the code right now will be cleaned up. It's just prototyping kind of things. It's gonna be cleaned up and look much cleaner once the add-on gets closer to that of a beta state or release phase. It's gonna be cleaned up. So if you take a look at the code, it will be a horrible mess and there's a lot of unnecessary things done now. And I apologize for anybody who was trying to learn anything and reading through my code. You shouldn't. Find other add-ons. They are much cleaner and much better to learn from. Anyway, Briss is not here, but I can shortly introduce him. He is the hunter player that I developed with, and he's the first person I ask when I have questions about what would be smarter to do, seen from a hunter's perspective. Going into this project, I had no idea what hunter, like how hunter plays or anything. I had a hunter character, but I hadn't touched it since Legion. Fast forward, it's been a year of development, more or less, a little more. And the add-on state went from what you know, when I click this away from this thing, just doing nothing, and you have these pages and these things, to what eventually became this. So, I actually think the best...
And you
speak to him.
Watch your back.
So I can share the tables and hide the table. Basically, this thing will always be here if you use the add-on. The add-on's function will simply just hide it behind the collections journal and bring it to the right when you ask for it to be shown. You need to interact with the iStableMaster if you want to see this, or do some other coding hacky things if you want to do that. Now, in the iStableMaster interface, we have the active slots, and in this current state, there's only one way of showing it. We have plans to change this, so you have multiple ways of showing all of the left section here, basically, so that it fits the desires you have. Now, Hound is active slot 1, and it sees here, so 2, 3, 4, 5, and then this little blue weird thing here is this slot here, which is the first slot in your stables. And why that's blue is because I'm currently a Beastmaster, and I've got this special talent called Animal Companion. And when you have those two things, you will have an Animal Companion, which is the first slot in your stables that act as an Animal Companion. That is an additional pet that you have to fight for you, that will respond to kill commands, etc, etc. And this is marked by having a blue tile down here. Now, so far, there is a paper door frame, as it's called, or a little model viewer, where you consume and do everything, and it's exactly the same as this one over here. It's actually no difference in this thing. And we've taken the background from some hunter stuff from Legion, because I really like how it feels pleasant. Behind here we have the Kyrian background, but it's colored green, so it fits the green theme of the hunters, and this is a general thing. Green and blue is what we have been using mostly. Now, up here, I have some filters I've set in a search bar. You can search for, let's say, Vara, and hit enter, and Vara will come to the top. Or, let's say you just want to search for pets that starts with B, and we'll find all the pets that starts with B, in the order that it appears in your pet stables, or StableMaster interface over here. So if it just in that order. And it will have sorted out all of the empty stables. In the future there will be options to whether you want to have them shown or not shown at all times, but the standard way of it working is that the empty slots are hidden when you don't want to put anything into them. So if you have a pet that you want to move from an active slot, let's take the raptor, move it in here. I have to scroll a little bit because it's a little bugged. I will be able to move the raptor, not here because that is actually called pet 5. So if I try to drop it here, it will give me an error saying that slot is locked. But I would be able to drop it in any other slot like this one. And this one will clear and it will have been put into one of the empty slots that are here in this list somewhere. Now, if I go to my filters, I'll be able to sort them out both by families. I can say I don't want to see any basilisks in the list, I don't want to see any bats in the list, and I don't want to see any bears in the list. If I turn on filters, it will now filter out all of those that are not checked. And I could go back here and say check all, although this is blocked at the moment, so let's just do it manually. Oh, you see they will be adding them to the list. I can go in and say, oh, I only want to see tenacity animals, or pets, sorry, and only tenacity are being shown. Let's say I want to sort these things. I want to sort them first by name, then by family, and then by how many different things they eat. And that will now be my sorting priority. It means that if it finds equities in the first sorting of named, two things are named the same thing, like here, it will then go in and look, oh, these two are named the same thing, so should I swap these two or not? Well, let's go in and look at the second sort priority and see what family they belong to. In this case, both of them belong to bear, so it will have another dilemma that it checks out or investigates by going to the tertiary sort, or the third row, and it looks at diets. Now, right now, they're the same animal, same family, basically they eat the same thing. But I could have one of them marked as favorites, and then choose this one as a favorite. Now, if I update this, hang on, maybe I can't actually see if it changed. If I take this off and then click this one, it should be so that the black bear is now the one that is favorited. And it actually, it might be hard to see here, but it actually swapped between which one was favorited and which one wasn't. If I do this and then update this thing, just anywhere, you should see that the favorite one, if we click this one, should now be the one that was infected before. And not the black bear anymore. The favorite bear is now this one, and this one's not. So they actually swap places. If I sort by name, currently the way it works is that it works in reverse. So the first letters in the alphabet is at the bottom of the list, and the last letters in the alphabet are at the top of the list. So that's basically how the sorting works, and there is plans of updating this and make this even better. It's just sorting itself, it's been quite troublesome to get working the way I wanted it to. And filters is the same with that when it comes to Rarity. Rarity has some problems that basically stem from there is no way to get from a pet stable pet, that is, whether it's a rare pet or a common pet or if it's unique or anything. So I need to make my own database for it. I need to make sure that is as agile and dynamic as possible, but I cannot get that from World of Warcraft API as it is right now. So that means this thing will not work in the latest version. The latest version is version 0.36b, and it is available right now on CurseForge, and you can download it from the CurseForge app or from the CurseForge website anyway if you like. We got some rename stuff. That means if I rename the pet, it will show. Now, rename pets as it is right now will also include things that are like rare pets that you cannot rename, like all model, for instance, will also be included in that one if it's renamed. Now, it is the plan to see if I can rename these things in the future from the interface, but it is a little more difficult because you can only rename things that you have summoned, so keep that in mind. I will be able to drag this one over to the active slots, and it will now appear here in the active slots. One more thing I can show you is the icons and tooltips here. Like, we got diets. If the bear eats it, or the pet eats it, it will be a stronger icon, not a faded icon, and it will have a green description in the tooltip. It will show specialization abilities, survival of the fittest, and endurance training, and all tenacity pets will have this. And then the family abilities of bears is that it can rest, and it has thick fur. If you go for the Chimera, you can see that the Chimera is not a tenacity pet. In fact, if I go to filter in ferocity and cunning, I believe it might be a ferocity pet. Yes. Whoops. And ferocity pets, they have primal rage and predator's thirst. And the family Chimera has froststorm breath and frost breath. So this allows us to see what kind of pet abilities we have pretty quickly. And in fact, these things are also in the tooltips over here, where you can also see the level, which is now equivalent to the level of the hunter itself, so it makes little sense. It was so when I started making the add-on too, but I didn't know. It will also show what specialization it is and what family it belongs to and what name it has. It will show you it has pathfinding. Barrow has pathfinding because it's a boar, and it has Master's Call. So I've got one last thing I forgot to tell you and show you, which is
Farewell.
we've got the beast squads. Actually, I might
I'm listening.
go and talk to this guy again because I just clicked it the wrong way. Now, a beast squad means that I have some saved squad of beasts, so that I don't have to go and find specific pets that I want to bring into the raid with me tonight in the list here, one by one. If I know that I'm frequently using this loadout or this squad of beasts, then I could just find the one over here and make that go. Like right now it's bugged, but as you can see, some of the pets changed here, and that's great. It should also include the animal companion in this case, so you will have less thing to do when you want to change these things up at the iStableMaster before a raid. And this thing will be updated and get more management features and renaming ability like things in the future. It's just been a little on hold because we were working on the sorting and filtering systems for a bit, but this will be revisited and updated when I get the chance. Finally, there is the options menu for later, but finally there is the Beast Tamers guide, which currently looks like this. It's because we haven't made it yet, and it's an entire project in itself that will allow you to know where to find the beasts, which model there is, etc., etc. Get a lot of good information of how to get a particular model or look for your pets when you want them. This video is turning into a 20-minute long video already, so I will just make it brief by saying that it is supposed to look a bit like appearances, where you can like look through the things, multiply, etc. And it will eventually become something where you can choose the looks and find the looks and browse through what looks you have unlocked here in your collections here as well. And what you haven't found and unlocked, and figure out how to get it. There will be some guides and some knowledge about that, and what zone to find it in, etc., etc. But this is an entire project in itself, and it will be done after the iStableMaster is completed. In the works right now is I've built some data fields for the selected pets that isn't here. And of course there is some stuff to be done to this scroll list a little more. The beast squats, the options for all of the looks of this kind of stuff, and more that needs to be bug free and fixed before I move on to the Beast Tamers guide. But for now, this was the update of how far we've come so far and what it looks like so far right now. And if you have any suggestions or anything, you can, of course, here on the CurseForge page, find a place where you can add suggestions or tasks, and we will take a look at it as we get to them. Thank you very much for watching so far, and I hope you enjoy the add-on that we have so far, and yeah, I really hope that you don't get frustrated with slow updates and keep sticking around to see if there's been a new update once in a while, because we will update it and work through it as we can. One last thing that I just want to add is there is generally a thought that when I do something new, it goes up on an alpha, and it's marked as an alpha in CurseForge, not just in the name. These things are not necessarily stable. These things can crash and burn and do lots of nasty things, but they will have more modern or more new features, etc. that is not stable, but they will be there. And once I feel confident it's sort of stable, then it rolls out. Now I can't test for every single possible thing, and Fred slash Briss, sorry, Briss, he doesn't always have the time to do a proper testing of things. He tests it one time and he doesn't keep going and doesn't keep reporting things if he finds them, which is making my job a little harder. So if you guys want things to go faster once we've reached summer, find all the bugs you find, make sure that they're related to StableMaster, and then take all the error messages and dump files you get and just screenshots. Videos are good too, especially if you can reproduce them. Reproducible steps are great, and then add them to the task management system. Then once I am done with my add-on system, then eventually my thesis, which is not an add-on system, sorry, which is a bug reporting tool system, that I can probably get back to doing the same kind of bug reporting systems for myself. But first and foremost right now is my thesis, and the next update on as a video first of all, and as update to the add-on is probably gonna be at least 2 months away, maybe 3 or more, so we'll see. Maybe there's gonna be a few updates in between. Those are not intended updates, it's because I've been doing stuff I shouldn't be doing. I'm doing add-on instead of my thesis, but if they appear, they will be here. Thank you very much for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Enjoy.